So the first part is to the Pledge of Allegiance. Joe flags are in the corner here. So, do I need to say that we called the meeting to order at 7?
I have it noted.
You got it. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So roll call.
Yes. Commissioner Azim, Commissioner Chapin,
Here.
Commissioner Levine, Commissioner Nelson, here, Commissioner Peth, Commissioner Spencer.
Here.
All right. We do have a quorum with Commissioners Peth and Levine absent.
So order of the day. So we have the introduction of the new commissioners, and then the election of the chair and vice chair.
Correct.
So for the new commissioners, we have 2 new commissioners.
And Joanne was not able to be here this evening. She was on vacation somewhere sunny. I don't recall where. And then Doreen is for our other new commissioner.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And are they on the 1 year? I'm trying to remember because I know they're.
I think it's 2.
I believe it's 2.
I think it's
Okay.
the end of 2020.
Okay. Fabulous. And so that, I guess, then leads us to the election of a chair and vice chair.
Right. So what you would do is someone would either, the word is not volunteer, the word is nominate, thank you, themselves or someone else, and then get a second and then vote on it for both the chair and then the vice chair.
Okay.
I'll nominate Megan if she's interested in doing it.
The chair?
Yes.
I'll second it.
But she has to accept.
Oh, she says, okay.
She doesn't have to accept.
Okay. If you're, okay. I accept.
Okay, you have to vote.
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes. This is going well.
It's the first time.
All in favor of Megan as the chair?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0 pass. Megan
I just
is the
went
new
through this
chair.
in another meeting last night, so.
Okay. I will read up before the next meeting. And so then we have to nominate for vice chair.
Correct.
Okay. I would like to nominate Barry.
I'll accept the nomination.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor of Barry as the vice chair?
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Congratulations, chair and vice chair.
Thank you. So we'll move into oral communications, which is typically public
Correct.
time, and there's no one here. Quiet day.
No. Okay.
So we'll move into written communications.
I have not received any written communications.
Okay. Then moving into unfinished business. So we have the minutes from our December meeting, which you shared out. So are there any notes or comments about the minutes from last meeting?
I have not received any.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as is.
Okay. I second the motion.
Yep.
All in
All in
favor?
favor? Aye.
All right.
And then moving into new business. So we have the pavement management program and the street improvement project update.
Right. Well, good evening, commissioners. Congratulations again, chair and vice chair. Tonight I have a quick update for you on both the pavement management project and the street improvement project for year 2017-18. Just for your benefit, Doreen, I'm not sure how much you know. So 2017, the city completed a pavement management budget options report. So that's required by the Metropolitan Transportation Commission for us to do every 2 years. So the next one will be done at the end of this year. Where we have a consultant go and check all the streets for pavement condition. They look at the cracking, failure, different things, and it goes into an algorithm where it shoots out a pavement condition index, or a PCI, 0 to 100. The city's PCI from that report was a 63, which is fair. The state average is about a 65. So based on that information, the council set the goal of having the streets in a good condition or 70 above within the next 5 years. And to that end, approved money both in last year, 17-18's fiscal year budget and 18-19's fiscal year budget for 2 types of projects, a pavement management general pavement program, and then these street improvement projects, more specific projects. So the pavement management program from last year was about 16 street segments, recommended as a like best first option. So to do the streets that are in better condition, to keep them in good condition, and then go do the poorer condition streets, and then you'll have a very good condition all at one time, or that's the idea. It raised the PCI last year by 2 points to a 65, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but without any work, it would have depreciated just by normal wear and tear to a 61. So it's kind of like a 4-point difference overall. So for 18-19, I included in the report today 18 street segments, which were also chosen based on that report, obviously not ones we've already done, and then also considered other utility projects such as that water main replacement project on Winchester and some other projects that the Water District has made us aware of. And then also giving thought to future pilot projects and not wanting to spend money on streets that could be grouped with other streets for something like a grant. So right now staff is preparing a bid package for that, hopefully to get out by the end of the month, so in the next 2 weeks, and for council award in April. And so hopefully that could be done by late spring, early summer of this year. The street improvement projects, so the other set of projects that council has approved, last year was Blanchard Street Avenue. Blanchard. That street came about by a big community, it was a community involvement. The neighborhood kind of got together, said, hey, we have a poor pavement condition, we don't have very many improvements such as curb and gutter, what can we do about it? Through a very long, lengthy process, the city completed that project last summer, and it was overall pretty successful. There's a couple of places where there's some ponding and some repairs that need to be done that are still under warranty, so once it dries up a bit, the contractor will be coming back and doing that at no cost to the city, and overall that project went really well. So this year staff, since there was no similar neighborhood involvement that approached the city, staff selected Via Vaquero, Equestrian, and Palos Verdes, and that was based on the fact that those streets don't really have any kind of uniform improvements. The 2 courts don't really have any curb and gutter at all. And most of the streets in that area do. And so those streets have very poor pavement condition because there's nothing holding them on the side. There's no concrete improvements, so water gets under there, and when people drive on and off the roadway to park or go into their driveways, it breaks away at the pavement. So putting those curb and gutter improvements on there and doing treatment to the roadway at the same time should really increase the useful life of those roadways. Staff held a community meeting. Had a pretty good turnout. I'd say probably about 15 people came out on the 29th of January. Overall, we're really in favor of the project. Definitely concerns about ingress and egress during the construction project because 2 of them are cul-de-sacs. Definitely something for staff and the contractor to keep in mind. But overall, we're excited about the project. So currently I'm trying to get a topographic survey done, which is difficult to do in the rain, but hopefully setting up construction for mid to late summer of this year. So I am happy to answer any questions on either of those projects or the upcoming new pavement budget report for the end of this year. That's all I have for you.
Do we have to pay for the biannual assessment, and how much does that cost?
So we have to pay what they call a match. They consider it a grant, and we have to pay a match. So we gave them about $3,000.
And how do you know that it would go to 61 if we didn't do anything, the road rating? I mean,
it's calculated by Street Safer. So it is calculated. So it's not, there's a very good possibility that it's above the 65 right now. And it'll be nice to have this evaluation done again at the end of this year after we've had 2 years of these projects to see what the PCI actually is rather than just a calculated.
And so those are just for the 2019, currently those 3 are the ones that we have in the kind of in the queue as I'm looking at the map of the other areas, other streets that that have been kind of put on the list of streets to tackle.
Oh,
Sorry.
so, yeah, the map for the 2019, so the black ones are those three, Via Vaquero, Equestrian, and Palos Verdes, and then the red ones are the ones that are just getting general pavement treatments.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a mix of like a slurry seal or overlay, but those are all streets to be addressed
Okay,
this
thank you.
year.
Sorry, yeah.
Are we doing all those? I know that last year, at least one of them was done by the county.
So, yes, these are all for us to do. We have other streets that are like half ours, half the counties, or half ours and half Los Gatos, that I don't think are going to be addressed this year, but it's also dependent on their CIP.
And did you say what you project is it CIP to be after this year?
The PCI? Yeah.
PCI.
Should be probably around like a 67 or 68. And the goal was to get it up to 70 3 years from now. So I think we're on a pretty good pace.
That wraps up our new business. And so then moving to the city engineer's report.
Okay. Just so briefly for next meeting, depending on what me and you come up with, Megan, as the new chair, but tentatively was to talk about the work plan and kind of our goals and what we plan on working on with this commission this year. The next meeting's scheduled for April 11th. And I've also had the chance in the past 2 months, I've been working here to kind of evaluate the Dave's area and Dave's Avenue. Following up on the presenters from the fire district who were here last time, they have yet to establish their primary emergency route map. So I have asked them several times, and I will keep you up to date when they have had that finalized. I've also had the opportunity to observe some of the traffic at the school during pickup and drop-off times, and kind of see what the circulation flow is there. And I've been in touch with their Safe Routes to School group to go to their next meeting, share my observations, get some of their input. I've also reviewed the Safe Routes to School and bike and ped master plans that the city and Los Gatos recently completed. So hopefully getting some kind of projects and mitigations together in that area in the next year or so. And that is all I have for my oral report. And I'm happy to take any questions on that.
I appreciate forecasting, kind of knowing what's coming up.
Yeah.
That's to come up with a game plan. That will be helpful, very much.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess that's
There's no action item with respect to that report, is there?
No.
Well, if that's it, I guess we can adjourn the meeting. Probably.